Habit of mind number 4. If you are not able to work ahead, then you've taken on too much. Adjust your schedule to have a balanced amount of work, school, family, and fun time. Real world example of habit of mind number 4. A student visits his professor, distraught and exhausted. I can't keep up with all of these assignments, professor, he shares. The professor asks him a few questions about his schedule and discovers that he is taking 4 3 credit classes, it's the fall term, working 35 to 40 hours per week, and caring for young children. In addition, he is a youth pastor at his church and has a regular gym routine. The professor asks the student if he can perform a short activity with him, warning that the purpose of the activity is to put him under a bit of stress for a short time. The student agrees, and the professor begins the activity. The professor speaks, his speech rapid. Crack the Case is a game where a fictional story is read aloud by a narrator, usually involving a mystery of some kind, and the players must ask yes or no questions to solve the mystery. The narrator has 7 ways to answer those yes or no questions. He can say yes, no, I don't know, irrelevant, yes and no, define what you mean by, and rephrase the question. The first 4 responses are self-explanatory, but the last 3 benefit from explanation. Yes and no might be given as a response if something was true at one point in time, but then later false. Define what you mean by might be given as a response if one of the questioners uses a word, phrase, or expression that is vague and needs clarification. Rephrase the question might be given as a response if the questioner has an invalid assumption built into their question. The professor looks at the student and says, now, tell me all 7 possible responses. You have 20 seconds. Go. The student, surprised by the question, tries to collect his thoughts and begins listing. Yes, no, change the question, um, yes and no. Um, the professor interrupts. Come on, I just shared these with you. I need you to know these now. I have a lot more rules to share with you. Shocked, surprised, and a little angry, the student responds, I'm learning as fast as I can. I didn't know there was going to be a quiz. Suddenly, and in a much calmer voice, the professor responds, exactly. You're learning as fast as you can. Learning takes time, and it cannot be rushed. If a skill or concept is going to take you 2 hours to truly master, then it is going to take you 2 hours to truly master it. You can't simply cut that time in half because you only have 1 hour to devote to the task. Okay, okay, I get it, the student shares. So in order to actually learn all of the material in my classes, I need to make sure I'm devoting enough time. But I'm doing the best I can. I have to work. I can't just quit my job. Agreed, says the professor, and no one is asking you to. But can you reduce your work hours? Was taking 4 classes the right decision given your other life tasks? Can you reduce gym time for 1 semester, or take a break from being a youth pastor? I'm sure your church family will understand if you need to take a semester off and return in the spring. The student pauses to reflect. The professor allows the silence.